Blog Talk Radio.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Dance of a needle! Dance of a needle! Spin of stop the needle! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Again, you're straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You get down to straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! 5-star broad splash! You can't stop me! 5-star broad splash! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the yin and the yang, the balance, the power, the zen. You can't stop the yin and the yang, the balance, the power, the zen. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. I will levitate, flip, kick you in the yam. I will decimate, you can prepare for. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down, the whole fucking show. Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show!
Happy 12/02/2011, everybody. Yeah, don't you wait to hear my voice every time to be in, aren't you like anticipating, like, is he really going to be on? Is this really? Yes. The whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. We haven't done a radio show in quite a while. Been a long time. And I get asked, and hopefully everyone that asks me on the street, when you doing another show, man? When you doing a show? I miss your show. Hopefully they all hear this. And every time I do a show, I think hopefully we'll start doing them regularly again. A lot of that has been tied to the progression or non-progression, respectively, of my website being reconstructed. It's been 6 long months so far. But I am under the understanding that soon it'll be completed. Right now there's no videos or photos, so there's not a lot of reason to go to robvandam.com, and the radio has always kind of been tied in to promote the website. Plus, it's always fun to talk about shit. I do it off the air, so I figure, hey, might as well do it on the air, share it with more people, and that is the true spirit of RVD Radio, which is why we're not censored, and we fucking talk about anything. We pick a subject, and we go. And I always want to do one of these shows every week, by the way. Every week I'm like, shit, I'd really like to do a radio show next week. But it ends up getting bumped down my priority list until it just doesn't get done when I have other shit I got to do. You can understand that. And so what we're doing right now, we're doing them on the fly. because most people listen to the podcast anyway instead of the live show, so it's so much easier for me to not have to set a date and schedule around and make that my priority when other shit pops up. And so, boom, boom, we get together, me and a few friends that can coordinate talking on the phone, and then if you happen to catch it because you saw the tweet or the posting somewhere, you're welcome to call in or just listen. But either way, here we are, and you can listen to it whenever the fuck you want. And I'm glad to be back, because I do always want to do an RVD radio show. And I have good reason to do one today. But before I get to that, since it's been so long and we haven't talked about Shiat, let me just say also, as far as the website goes, one little update that I do have, I got this thing called iPatio. Fucking awesome. If you haven't been to RobVanDam.com in a while, you can see it on the window right above RVD Radio. iPatio. I love it. I talk on the phone just like I am right now to you, and then record that, and then it's like a little mini audio blog. Mini, depending on how long I leave it. But usually I seem to, so far, be leaving those messages while I'm driving. But I keep you updated a lot more than writing an actual post and tweeting it or something, because you know you only got so many letters, 140 letters, numbers, digits, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying. No explanation further than that is needed at this point, but the audio iPatio is fucking awesome. I love it, and check it out. Maybe you'll love it too. Got the new iPhone. iPhone fucking rocks, by the way. My other iPhone was so, you know what? They only seem to last about 2 years, and then they're ready to be replaced anyway. Like it freezes. I've always had that. Always had that same circumstance with all my cell phones since they created them way back in the day. And it was every 2 years you got to replace it. You know, it just starts freezing, it starts shutting itself off or on, it ignores you. You have the ringer off, it works anyway, it rings, all that shit. But anyway, the new iPhone, fucking awesome. You don't even have to type anything. You can just tell it to type. I can just say, like, I can just push a button on the iPhone, and the bitch comes up asking me what I want. And I can just say, call Nikki Starr, tell her she's on RVD Radio. And boom! Like that. Hi, Nikki Starr.
Yep.
Nikki Starr,
okay.
Say something. I just heard you. You didn't know it.
All right, I'll do that. Okay,
oh,
great.
You're talking to somebody.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Hey, Nikki Starr.
Hi.
Hi. I was eavesdropping in on the end of your call because I saw you on there and transition. Hey, you got the new iPhone? No.
No, I have an Android.
Okay. I don't know that much about it, but the new iPhone.
I love it. I love it.
You don't have iChat. We always talk iChat while we're doing these radio shows, don't we?
Yes, except for I have a new Mac and I forgot to install it.
Oh. Well, Nikki Starr, we haven't talked to you in forever. How have you been?
Hello. It has been forever. I'm doing
I know.
great.
I'm glad we're doing a show. It's crazy.
Your website looks great, by the way. It looks
the website?
awesome.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 2/3 of the construction is done. It's stage 3 that I've been waiting on forever, and it's an important one because it has all the content that you would want to visit the site for. But hopefully that'll change. That'll be done soon, too. Got big plans. I always have big plans, but until that's done, they're all just plans.
So you need somebody to implement them. That's what makes a great leader. Somebody who finds the right people who can execute their plans.
I agree. I've always, not particularly just talking about this, and my current web guy. He's trying and stuff, but that is always my deal. As I go with, I always have like all my projects. I always seem to have people on them that. I don't know. I don't know. You get what you pay for, and I always have people wanting to hook me up and stuff. And in the long run, for many of my projects, I'm always like, man, I probably would have been better off paying, top price, getting it done right. Not with this website so much, but this.
Right.
But this has been the history of the website. It's always just been a long struggle waiting on something to get completed with the other guy and with this guy too. But you're right, and whatever. I know nothing about running the websites, and I always have plenty of other shit to keep me busy. One of the things I've been working on lately, been super busy with, Nikki Starr, is 2 different movies that I'm working on the production end. One of them being this huge action movie, which we'll talk about real soon. It'll be the next big action movie for RVD, but also a documentary on the Medical Kush Beach Club down at Venice Beach, where I have always hung out. And this documentary is so awesome. Like, I can't believe how good it's come out. You might have seen a trailer. If not, we're going to have a couple of the people on the show today to talk about it. They'll tell you where you can see the trailer. But Rob Van Dam and Tommy Chong are like 2 celebrities that used to hang out there that are friends of Sean Kush, the guy that ran it, and we kind of spearhead the whole story, moving it forward. And they documented everything from the very beginning, like when Sean first went to came to California and was looking to try to open up something like this, all the way till the end when it got shut down, and still currently while he's going through court and all that. We're going to have Sean Kush on, and also the director from this, Reed Lucas, which we're going to call him. Actually wanted to slide you his number, but can you see my text? You told me something about you can't get a message from me.
What do you mean I can tell you something? I told you in the text message.
That you couldn't get a message. What does that mean?
I don't know, you sent something in the text message, like a picture or something. I can't get it.
Oh, because it was a double text. It was to you and Jingles. But you get the normal texts?
I do, yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to send you Reed's number and have you call him like in a little while if you would, if you do not mind. Yeah? You don't? Okay, cool. So, Nikki Starr, I'm hogging up the time talking about me because I'm self-absorbed and that's the kind of thing that I do. But what about you? What have you been up to?
Work, and work. And then some work.
Right on. Well, that's cool. Work can be cool. Bruce Jingles says he's not going to be able to be on because he forgot about, he says he's got some kind of family shit going on, and he's not going to make it into the show. I said no problem, but I'm kind of extra bummed because I really wanted to get his opinion on something in particular. Did you hear about the record-setting purchase? I guess it was yesterday. It was on the news yesterday for the most expensive comic book ever.
I did kind of hear about it, but I don't even know what comic book it was or how much it went for.
Well, you know, RVD's a big comic book fan, and Bruce Jingles, huge comic fan. He's especially DC, and this is a Superman Action Comics #1, Superman's first appearance. And somebody bought this, setting the record for the most amount of money ever put down for a comic book. Do you know how much it was, Nikki Starr?
$2.4 million.
Yeah, I think it was 2.16 is what the news said. Either way, close enough, but with 160 or 400 at that point, whatever. But holy shit! So over $2 million for one 10-cent comic book, a 10-cent investment a long time ago. But of course, it's not the original owner that still has it. And then after the news, people are telling me that it turns out it was Nicolas Cage's comic book that was stolen from him, and then he got it back for like $100. I heard, this is hearsay. I heard that he got it back for like $100,000, and then he's the one that sold it for, over $2 million. I heard 2.16 million. That's what I got anyway. But I guess maybe him owning it might have added value to it.
Maybe. I wouldn't think that much. I mean, it's not like, he's not that great. Well, he's okay, but I don't think that had anything to do with it. It has to be because it's got to be rare. Maybe. Right.
Well, of course, that's going to be the main value. The celebrity touch adds value to anything because, you could buy, this is an extreme, but, you would buy a fucking pair of panties that Marilyn Monroe wore, and they'd be worth tons, but, not necessarily panties that, my next-door neighbor had on. You'd want to put them in the trash. Ew! No offense, neighbor lady next door. But even people now, Shelly Martinez and those girls, they sell stuff that they wear, And then it's stuff that people wouldn't normally buy, a scarf, a bra, whatever, but because the celebrity had it, I'm just saying maybe like this guy that bought this comic book for over $2 million, he's a huge comic book fan, also Superman comic. Nick Cage is a huge Superman fan. He's also Ghost Rider, which comes out in February, and Nick Cage is
that's a comic, huh? I like that one. I like that movie.
It's RVD's favorite comic, my lifelong favorite comic character anyway. So, yeah. Nikki, do you know anything about the Occupy movement?
I know about it, of course, because I love politics.
I want to dive into that today and talk about it. You know, some people think like it's over. Jingles texted me the other day like, oh, there's going to be nothing to talk about. It's over. The police shut him down. That's not happening. These people are homeless, and unless you throw them all in jail, they're going to regroup and go somewhere. They have to go somewhere.
They're even in Ireland. They're even in Ireland. They're everywhere. They're not going away. And
Are they in your town?
Okay, no, my town. Do you know how many people are in my town? Like about 2,000? No, they're not here.
But obviously people are listening and don't know what we're talking about. There's groups of peaceful. They say it's not a protest, it's a movement, because I went down there and talked to them. Me and Sean Kush, who's on hold, I'm going to take him off hold and let him help me explain to you. We talked to these people at Occupy Los Angeles, and I asked them questions, you know, what is it? What are you doing? What do you want? How do you hope to get that? You know, and they say, we don't have a leader. We're all leaders. I said, without a leader, you don't have anybody to mediate. You know, how are you going to negotiate any kind of settlement? And they explained that and told me to come to this meeting, which I didn't. But I am fascinated enough to attend one of their meetings. I do have interest, and I may end up doing that. But basically, this is a group of a variety of different inspirations, and it's all about being fucked over by the government. So you got people saying, you know, utilize hemp. We're getting fucked because we are. I mean, these people are kicked out of their homes. They're jobless. And they see what's going on, just like most people. I don't know if most people see what's going on yet, but a lot of people know, but they contribute to the problem. Like myself, I pay Federal Reserve tax. I know it's bullshit. I'm contributing to the problem because my money is just going straight to the assholes that own the banks that have all the money anyway. They took these people's homes, you know, that caused the financial ruin where they lost their jobs, and then got rewarded with more of our tax money and then just kept it. So I get it. I see why they're pissed. So some people are saying, hey, we can save the economy if we utilize hemp. You know, fucking let's quit turning our back on that. Other people, let's quit fucking importing shit. Let's do it right here in the States. We have everything. Other people are, you know, they're all different specific arguments, but all towards the same fucking pointing the finger at the elitists that run everything, that are on top, that actually control the government. So I'm going to go to Sean Kush.
Wait, hey, RVD.
Oh, go ahead, Nikki Starr.
I have to mute for a minute, okay? So.
Okay, that's cool. Thanks for warning me. That way I won't talk to her like an idiot, and then she won't be there.
Thank you.
Sean Kush, what up, dude?
Yo,
Sean does my music. Just in case you guys don't know, when I come down to the fucking to the ring and you hear, oh wait, not that one. Wait, I have the soundbite, but that one's gonna say you're listening to RVD Radio. And I think I have one without, but no, fuck it, fuck. I don't have two. Why would I have two? Anyway, he does the song Rob Van Dam, The Whole Effing Show, Rob Van Dam, The Whole Effing Show, or the unedited version, Rob Van Dam, The Whole Fucking Show, Rob Van Dam, The Whole Fucking Show. Van Daminator.
You're listening to RVD Radio.
Drop that down!
That's you, dude.
that's me.
That's you, yo. All right, so check this out. We went down to Los Angeles, and there was like a big tent city of all these people They hadn't showered. They were all like, it was like a huge, big family, though, and they were explaining to me that that is their home now, just being with each other. They were playing games, you know, playing catch with the Frisbee or football and shit. Like, they were like, they get together to have meals and shit, and it's like they got nothing else. That's all they got. So I get, you know, like, it's not like just their backs against the wall. They got nothing else to do except say, hey, you know, I quit supporting the evil system that's fucking us, and I get that. What did you think, Kush? Like, what was your impression like from talking to those people? I mean, they have are they us? They say they're the 99%. Isn't that like everybody that works and pays taxes? I feel like it is.
Richard, is that you? You lost your job.
I did lose my job. Hi, RVD.
Hi, Bridget. I haven't talked to you in a while. Bridget's on the documentary, The Rise and Fall of Medical Kush Beach Club, which everyone will be hearing a ton about in the near future because we'll be promoting the hell out of it because it's fucking awesome. How are you, Bridge?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So glad to have you calling in. Are you following this the Occupy movement?
A little bit, yeah. I've been hearing different things about it, but I feel like
you feel like they represent
I should be a part of it.
A lot of people look at them like they're a nuisance. Like, oh, I wish they'd go away. They're doing this. But are they us? They're just the brave ones that that stand forward and say, hey, because I'll tell you the truth. I don't want to pay Federal Reserve taxes, but I don't want to go to jail either. These motherfuckers are out there saying. No,
I don't want to either. I don't want to pay the taxes either, especially with what it's being used for. Like people that don't even have jobs, just kind of sitting on welfare and stuff. But yeah, I think we're definitely a part of it. I think I would want to be a part of it if I could be. I wouldn't be out there.
Yeah, we all lost our jobs in our lives, especially with the fall of the Medical Kush Beach Club. I mean, there's a lot of people out of a job. And Bridget and me, we both lived above the club, so like we're out of a home and a job. So we'd be perfect to go down there for the movement. And Bridget she got forced back home. And she was going to think about coming out here and be a part of it, but now it's gone.
Yeah,
it's not gone. I think there's nowhere for them to go. I mean, you can't just sweep these guys in the gutter. You can't tell them to go home. They don't have a home.
What about
we're going to talk to Reed Lucas in a few minutes, who seems to have a lot of insight. He was saying, I don't know if it's his sister or what, that has some kind of conflict resolving 4 years of some kind of course. It sounds like they're negotiating, like a course for negotiating hostages release or something, but they were explaining, and I've had some friends, some very well-known friends, in the wrestling business that I don't want to mention their names because they don't want to be associated, with the anti-government movements, that have been labeled as conspiracists, but they've been telling me for years to watch for this happening, and I think Reed's going to tell us the same thing. This has been predictable. We saw it coming, and we have an idea of where it's going to, and it is civil unrest. There's that 1%. If you're a Rockefeller, then you're all set. You know what I mean? You've got world domination plans, and you and your family are going to be taken care of. And I don't fucking know. Maybe fly to another planet after you destroy this one. I wouldn't doubt it. But if you're the other 99%, then you're fucked. We are slaves to their system, and we beg for more of it. The more they make people afraid for their safety, the more people beg for more protection, which means more of their rights being taken away. The protesters down there did get disbanded. The police made them get off the property that they were on. From my understanding, they regrouped later, got kicked out again. I don't know what the current status is of them. I actually have somebody I might try to call if I get a moment during this broadcast, if I can look up her number in time because I'm unprepared. But they're everywhere. I don't expect this to go away at all.
Yeah, they should be doing it at Venice Beach.
What's that?
You should come out to Venice Beach and do it, because then they'd be more accepted with all the other eccentric people out here. It'd be perfect. Just put up tents all over Venice and do it.
Yeah, they try to make a statement by grouping around like City Hall, and from what I understand, they're targeting more of the specific individuals now. This is what I've heard somewhere earlier today, was that they're going after the individuals, whether it's the people that actually signed the bills, the people that are actually working for the bank, and that they're starting to relocate and try to camp out at those people's houses and in front of their lawns and in their yards and stuff.
Doing that though, right?
What's that?
They would get arrested going on people's private property, and then that's just going to make it worse for them, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if they go on their property, then of course they'll face that issue. That's the thing, is they're trying to skirt along the line, of the law, and what is public property, what is private property, what is it, is this ditch divided between city property, and it's like that's all the stuff they're working with. And to tell you the truth, even though they're a bunch of homeless vagrants that haven't showered and look like bums, they have some people backing them up that have some organization skills. They have websites. You can look up their. I looked up their Occupy movement website earlier, and it has all the affiliations. You can join Occupy Omaha, Occupy. All these different states and cities, and they're all under an umbrella. And someone that has, website skills, also skills to take donations, and the organization. So the 99% is something I think we're ignoring. These aren't just a few people that are a small part of our society. They're saying they're 99%, and I think that's going to get through, and people are going to realize and say, hey, wait a minute. When you draw the line between the people on top, the bankers, the evil empire that has our entire government and country structured on a law system that works in their benefit, so the rich get richer, the more people that realize that, I think the bigger that crowd is going to get, and the more we're going to accept we are on that side of the line. We are the 99%.
I agree.
I agree as well.
What? Yeah, don't let Reed on the phone. He's supposed to be working on our documentary, because then if he's on here, that's wasting time, and he could be working on the documentary for us.
Yeah. Nikki Starr, let me take her off. That way I don't have to. Nikki Starr, are you with me? Oh, wait. That's not her. I lost Nikki Starr. I don't know who this is. Hey, someone's on RVD Radio from the 310. Is that me? No. I don't know. Hopefully they're not just listening. There's no message. What happened to Nikki Starr? I lost my host. Dude, I got a California caller. Is that Bridget?
Yeah, that's
Bridget?
probably me.
She didn't call in
Me?
separate. All right. Well, I have another person, but I don't have their name or their anything. I just have 310. Were you trying to get on the show, 310?
Yeah, this is Reed.
Is it Reed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to call you. I'm so confused. What happened to Nikki Starr? Did you come on and kick Nikki Starr off my switchboard? How rude.
No, I heard you guys start talking about Occupy, and I didn't know if you were going to call or if I needed to call the number, so I just called the number.
Oh, that's cool. Nikki said she had to leave for a minute and then put herself on mute, and she's not on my switchboard at all. Whatever, dude. What up, Reed? I'm glad you did call in, because we got a lot of questions, and I guess you've heard a little bit about what we're talking about. Just so you guys know, I warned them that we'd be talking to you, Reed. Reed is the director and producer on this awesome documentary that we've been busting our ass working on. But you guys have done a great job, and I've been telling them that they're going to hear a lot more about it. But there's like a website they can go to now, or no, to look at a trailer or a...
Yeah, I heard you talk about that. If they go to Facebook and type in Medical Kush Beach Club, we went ahead and put up a link of the most recent trailer, although there will be a new trailer by the week's end. We also put up, obviously, you on Blog Talk Radio to make sure that all our people know about the show, and also we put it up on hashbar.tv. So if you want to tune into the progress, we've been really blessed to have Rob Van Dam, of course, came on to help us with the project. And between the creativity that you have and Sean has, and with the input that we're getting from Tommy Chong, it's really turning out to be a great project.
Fucking hey, I was way impressed the first time I saw the rough cut, and I know, and I keep saying this, but I haven't said it to this audience because I haven't done a radio show in a while, but I know this is going to be a classic. I've watched tons of these. If you can weigh films by a weight of measurement, tons of these documentaries on cannabis, on why it should be legal, on hemp, on all that, on the movement. But the story of Sean Kush and the rise and fall of the Medical Kush Beach Club is the classic example, and it's the most up-to-date, modern, coolest, hippest way to view the issue, and it covers everything, all the information that any advocate would want to get out there, and plus it allows you to make some of your own opinions while watching it too. It doesn't just steer you in a biased manner. You're watching it for what it is, because they documented years and years of everything that was going on there. So that's awesome. So go to Facebook, Medical Kush Beach Club, just like he said, and check that out. And also, since I haven't done a radio show in a while, it's worth mentioning we haven't done an RVD TV episode in forever. Hopefully we'll be doing those again soon, depending on the website and the new construction. But in case you don't know, even though I haven't done any RVD TV episodes in a long time, if you go to hashbar.tv, you can still keep up with me. We've been doing new episodes there all along down there at the Beach Club that we're talking about. So if you haven't, check that out and get up to date. And that's awesome to watch and read. Was it your sister, you said, that has this course on conflict solving? Is that what it was?
My sister's studying what's called conflict resolution, and it's really drawn from what happens when the government takes all the rights away from its citizens and ultimately what leads to civil unrest and revolution. And she has found that in a lot of the third world countries, including places like Iran, Iraq, and Libya, children and the young aren't taught to be able to deal with resolution in a nonviolent manner. And we're sort of taught that at a young age, that there's better ways to protest nonviolently to get attention. Now, what she's saying, though, is that the tactics that were used in Egypt, Syria, Libya, and Iran and Iraq to present grounds for America to go in and fight the quote-unquote good fight was that they were seeding these false flag operations to get the American people behind what they think is an attempt to overthrow a government that is treating its people badly. And we can see this kind of thing happening now here with all the recent laws and your civil rights being stripped from you. As an example, we have the ATF has taken away the Second Amendment right to bear arms for people that are suspected of smoking marijuana or who are card-carrying medical marijuana patients. So I don't know who allowed that to happen. I certainly didn't vote on it, but I know now that I'm not allowed to buy a firearm, and that's one of the ways that they strip your civil liberties away. And just recently they suspended habeas corpus with S-1867. You can look this up. A couple days ago, they took away your right to due process. And then on top of that, maybe a lot of Americans don't know, but there's what's called it's called a constitution-free zone in America, and it is basically 100 miles in from the border all the way around the United States, including Alaska, is what's called a constitution-free zone. So if you live, which basically about, what did they say, like 20, 30%, 192 million Americans live within this constitution-free zone. So once they get you on suspecting you of being a terrorist, and you guys got to understand, this Occupy Wall Street, if you're paying for everything with cash and you're doing certain things that are very mundane that are listed in the suspects for terrorism, they can classify an individual or groups of individuals as terrorists and detain them indefinitely without due process. So this is all just leading up to a head where the government's doing everything they can to take away all our rights so that way they can ultimately control us in a way that they see fit. And I'm up in arms about it. I think the Occupy Wall Street movement they've had a directed effort to make it look like it's just a bunch of bums and hobos and people causing problems and destroying the grass. Destroying the grass, how about destroying our own personal freedoms? That's what I'm concerned about. And I'm part of the 99%, but I'm not, homeless, but I'm doing everything I can to spread the word that all we have to do is get together and keep, like you said, occupying the banks, occupying out in front of the people who are part of the 1%. These things are really important for us to continue to do because it ultimately gets the word out. And it's not necessarily just about occupying, a certain civil facility. What happens is after all of this press, and this is part of conflict resolution, is once you pass the threshold where the police and the military realize that they're part of the 99%, then that's when you get the power that you need behind a movement like this. Because the police are going, wait, I only make $19,000 a year or $30,000 a year. I'm part of this 99%. Why am I persecuting these people when I myself am upset? My house is being foreclosed on. I'm not getting the raise that I was deserved. And these are the types of things that really get a groundswell movement like this going. And the media, certainly the drive-by media, is trying everything in its power to make the Occupy movement look like a bunch of hippies.
Right. Okay. Well, let me stop you right there and ask you something. And first off, Kush should be paying you more. You're right. And just joking, Kush. Let's talk about that 99%. Where is that line drawn? Because I keep saying that I feel like I'm part of them because I'm definitely not one of the elitists. I'm definitely not one of the world rulers. I'm definitely not one of the people who are benefiting from our tax system, from any of our any of our controls that they have on us. So, but I'm not one of them, so I feel like I'm with the majority. But if we're talking about the 99% really being drawn, is that Obama's $250,000 a year income level? Is that really what that's about?
Yeah, exactly. Anybody that falls under $250,000 per year is part of the 99%. So if you make, $260,000 a year, you make $1 million a year, you're a part of the 1% of the company or the country that makes all of the decisions. Because if you're making, $1 million a year, you probably own a business and you're employing employees and you're doing everything you can to make it so you don't have to pay your employees as much to increase your profits, and you don't have to provide them with things like health care because you want to be able to continue to make profits to support your own self. And I think that's what this is about, is that the people that are part of the 1%, they lack a certain moral code or ethical code in their brain, and there's a study. You can look up a study about
Wait. You can't, I guess there's exceptions to everything, but without considering that, you can't just put that on somebody's income. I make more than $250,000 a year. I don't think anybody listening is going to be surprised at that, but I'm definitely not a decision maker for the country. I don't benefit from their evil agendas of having of not using nature and using, the pharmaceuticals and all the big conglomerate businesses that profit, that run to the world leaders, that doesn't trickle down to me. I end up paying more in taxes because I make more. And so, so what about somebody like me? There's something there's some serum level in my brain that's different than yours?
No, I disagree. I disagree with the classification as well. I think the 99%, in my opinion, is anybody that feels like they've been taken advantage by the government or by corporations in general. So anybody that's gotten, and I know this has happened to probably a lot of your listeners, where you've overdrawn your account 4 times in a day, and they charge you $35 for every $2 transaction, and you get stuck with a bill of $120 that you don't feel is just. And it could be something as simple as that, all the way to, other things being denied, like health care benefits, or, there are other countries out there that have health care for free for all of their citizens. We do not. Anybody that has a problem or a grievance with the government can really fall within that 99%, in my opinion. Like you, for example, you're a very big activist for the medical marijuana community. That makes you a counterculture icon and ultimately the leader of a large percentage of these 99%. So that's why I feel like, people in your position are still a part of that 99%. For me, that 1% represents, the Bushes, the people that run the Federal Reserve, the Ben Bernanke's, these people that keep being recycled into government to run the government and basically take advantage of the people, because these are people that, when they make a decision, it affects hundreds of millions of people in negative ways. And you look at the amount of times they've negatively affected us versus the amount of times they've helped us, and it's literally, they've really done nothing to help us in the past few years. And you can see this happening with all these laws and bills that they're passing at midnight when you can't read about it, or there's no voting, there's no due process, there's nothing. They're just stripping away our rights. So as far as I'm concerned, you have to be someone who's actively, considering yourself only for profiteering and things of that nature at the expense of others, and that's where I classify that 1%. Right,
which is way different than where they have it, because I mean, even living in Los Angeles, if you're making $250,000 and you own a home, you're not rich. Am I right?
Yeah, you're just barely making it.
Right, yeah, I mean, you're just barely making it. And then if you got kids and stuff like that, I mean, that's like, it depends on where you live, and I don't understand that about where they draw the line either, because the living expenses are so much different. I can't believe, I travel so much that I usually don't even notice. Like, I don't know what gas costs, I'll be honest with you. I put my credit card in the machine, I pump it in my car, I pay my bill, I hardly ever notice. But when it's something like a really small, like a one-item thing, like, I don't know, like say I get breakfast on the East Coast at Waffle House, and it's like $7, and I'm like, what? But I'm used to paying, like $14 to $19 just to feed myself on the West Coast. It's a huge difference. So the economy is used. It means more, obviously, in different places all over the world too, and they're pushing for that one world economy, which they will get. Because that's the path that we're on to with the world leaders that you're talking about. Do you think it goes all the way back to the Masons and like this long-term plans for a new world order? Because it all fits into line.
Oh, no, there is no question that the last few years, even the last 100 years, it has been a steady flow of transforming this world into the new world order. I mean, I don't even have to go into it. You can look up Alex Jones online, and you can look at some of the alternative media like coasttocoastam.com. You can look up all that. So I mean, that's a huge conversation, and you can watch films like Zeitgeist, and you can watch films that cover this topic. But it's the acceleration of that process that's alarming the 99%. Is it used to happen, every couple 18 months or so, they'd knock you with something, and it's not happening to me, and we'd make up excuses about why it's only for terrorists or whatever. But now it just seems like every single month is a new bill that strips away more of our rights, so that ultimately when the New World Order says, okay, well, guess what? We destroyed the economy. We're going to move to a single dollar worldwide. And, who knows, maybe they'll come up with some cockamamie scheme about aliens coming down and we all need to get together and fight the aliens. Who knows, what they're going to come up with next. But the point is this systematic approach of stripping away our rights and putting more power into the hands of the elite few. And that's what I think people are becoming more aware to, which they weren't previously aware. Like 5 years ago, if you talk to people about the Illuminati or the Bilderberg Group, they would say, I don't know what you're talking about, Now, almost everybody knows who the Illuminati is. Everybody knows who the Bilderberg Group is. Everybody knows about, the return of Quetzalcoatl in 2012, and everybody's excited to see what's going to happen in 2012 at the end of the Mayan calendar. So if that is not true, why is the government pushing all these laws to try to contain the general public prior to this December 21st, 2012 date? So, I mean, I don't want to sound like a crazy, conspiracy theorist, but people are getting more and more educated, and thank God the Internet in our country hasn't been censored or shut down due to net neutrality. That's the case in a lot of other countries, and that's what ultimately causes the unrest. Imagine if you were to go to your Facebook one day and you can't because you've been deemed a terrorist because you talk about how much you hate Obama. What if you? That
might be what happened to Nikki Starr, because she texted me and said she lost internet and she was hosting this show.
See what I mean? I mean, they're listening to everything we say. I mean, the wiretapping laws, everything allows the government to do this without consent. And it's like you watch videos online.
My phones are being tapped, I was told. So they're probably tapping my line because of everything that's going on with my legal problems, and I just shut down RVD Radio. I'm sorry.
Well, so far we're managing without co-host Nikki Starr, but it's because the conversation is kind of carrying itself. And Reed, you know a lot about this, so can you tell us two things? I mean, are going through my mind. One, you want to know what you can do about it, because being aware is one thing, but we're also still contributing. I'm still contributing. I'm still paying for, gas that's being shipped in from overseas. I'm still paying the, Federal Reserve's taxes. Everything that I do still contributes to the problem because I do live in this system. So I want to know, what can we do, and also where can we expect this to go?
Okay, well, what they're saying from the Occupy camp, that the number one thing that you can do right now that's legal, that will not get you in trouble, is withdraw your money from bank accounts that are, like huge bank accounts like B of A, Wells Fargo, and move to a more localized credit union that supports the community. That's the first thing you can do. And on November 5th, they had that, withdraw day with the Occupy movement, and that made a difference. You saw news about banks that were not allowing customers to come in, and people were being arrested for trying to withdraw money out of their own bank accounts. So that helps with the awareness, okay? So, removing, support for the main companies, even if 1% of that 99% do that, that equals billions of dollars. So they feel that and they understand that. And you saw when we went into an uproar about the new fees of $5 per person to use your debit card, we were able to effectively make every single bank change their mind on that because they were fearful that we would withdraw our money. So that's one of the things that you can do. The more active users, the people that have less to lose, are talking about things like not paying your taxes. I don't know if that's the best idea because, obviously there are penalties for that, but certainly you can cause problems simply by asking for an extension on your taxes, et cetera, so that the money doesn't get to them right away. Other things
but
that
then
you
you
can
put
do
yourself further in a hole with interest, so it's kind of hard to recommend that.
That's true, but with people out there that lost their home, their jobs, and everything, what do they have left to lose, So the other thing that you can do, and this is the biggest thing, is pay attention. If you see a news article or a bill being passed or you see some sort of video online, share it with everybody because the goal is to get everyone on the same psychological and emotional wavelength to be able to effectively use the collective conscious in order to shift the view of the general public. And that includes everybody. We're seeing these videos of police pepper spraying people. We're seeing these videos of protesters being treated badly. That doesn't directly affect me because I didn't go out there and protest, and I didn't go out there and, get arrested. But I don't agree with that type of behavior, and I will share it with all of my people. And when I post something on Facebook, over 10 or 20,000 people see that. So the more we're able to do that, even if you can't or you're too scared to take your money out of your bank account or you don't want to make a huge stand by going down to the Occupy movement, there are people like you, RVD, who are in that gray area that are on our side that are saying this is just bullshit, what they're doing to us. And I haven't had a chance to vote on any of these bills or anything they're passing which are stripping away my rights, and I want to be vocal about that. So you do things by going to, whitehouse.gov and asking questions and signing petitions to get your questions answered. Even though they're probably going to lie to you, it's still a great forum to be able to cast light on some of the things that really bother you as an individual.
Well, now, strategically, during one of these outbursts where the peaceful protesters are making their stance and the police officers are, quote, doing their job, inevitably when somebody dies, is that going to enrage the protesters and the people to be involved more, or will that work the other way, and will the government use that to install fear in people by further pointing the finger at these crazy, out-of-control vagrants and blame it on that so that people will beg for even more of their rights to be taken away?
Well, that's the $24,000 question, RVD. You nailed it right on the head.
It's going to happen. I mean, I would think that with the studying the path, of conflict, I would think that that's something you've already come across and thought about, right?
Well, let's imagine, let's say a fight does break out and something gets, burned to the ground. Let's just use that as an example. Well, we know that the peaceful protesters are the victim. I mean, we just know that. I mean, inherently in our body, peaceful protesters don't do this. But with the government stripping away all our rights and the right to detain and without due process and the right to classify people that are causing problems with the state as terrorists, I would be suspect that they would make it out to be that these particular individuals of this Occupy movement are considered terrorists. And what's to stop them from saying all occupiers are terrorists and detaining them all? So that is the $64,000 question, is what will happen once violence breaks out? But I can pretty much guarantee, just with, I have a lot of experience in marketing. The overall marketing of this Occupy movement, we are the 99%, we're not going to stand for it. And I really believe that if somebody does get hurt and somebody gets blamed for this, there's going to be civil unrest in the way that we've seen in Egypt and Syria and Iran and other places. So I would stay really on top of what's going on and not listen to the mainstream media. They're owned by corporations, which are part of the 1%, that are looking to only protect themselves and their immediate families, and get involved and stay informed and look at the real story. And then that way, when the time comes, when you start to see this mass exodus of people being put in detention camps that they've already set up all around the country, ready to be detaining people, that's when we need to start taking action.
No shit. So that's what's coming then, mass detention.
Mass detentions. There, you can find, if you search military detention facilities on Google, you'll see all of the places in the United States where they have detention facilities that are capable of holding hundreds of thousands of people.
Wow.
Reed,
I got
underneath Venice Beach Boulevard or under the Venice Boardwalk.
That's true.
Are they going to stop them under the boardwalk?
Yeah, where that big compass is, the big compass right there.
That's supposedly some kind of Masonic symbol, right?
Yeah, but the Masons, that was George Washington, right? Because they were found, when they founded this country, it was all on free thinking, positivity, and they were against religion, and they all smoked marijuana. So how did it go from that to this? I don't understand how the Masons created this, and now it went from that to this. That's a
huge conversation, Sean, and you're absolutely right, is that ultimately the pharmaceutical companies learned sooner or later that by patenting ingredients, you can stop your competition, you can ultimately develop these quote-unquote cures that they say cure these illnesses, which actually don't. But ultimately there was a study done just recently about Monsanto, who owns the genetically modified corn, which is a big problem for farmers because if they get pollinated with the corn from Monsanto, they can be sued and their whole crop seized. But what they found was that in rats, it creates organ failure in a very short period of time. So Monsanto is creating a food which causes an illness, which then they own the patent to the cure of. So it's a vicious cycle. And again, you're absolutely right. The reason why they don't want medical marijuana is because it is a cancer preventative medicine, and it has so many benefits from a natural plant that it scares the living Christ out of these people who are worried about a 1 or 2% drop in their billion-dollar industries that they've created for themselves.
Yeah, I don't think enough people give credit to that. People ask me all the time, like, well, if marijuana is so harmless, why is it illegal? That is the reason, because our government depends on marijuana prohibition to thrive in its evil agendas. Everything is constructed in such a way counterproductive to our health, counterproductive to the betterment of the majority of the people, however beneficial to an elite few. That's what we're talking about today. If cannabis, boom, all of a sudden was legal and we utilized it for everything, it would shut down so many companies, so many businesses. You wouldn't believe it. And I mean, we could name it for the next half hour, and what quickly will come to mind are some of the big businesses like alcohol, tobacco, and lumber, and newspaper, and pharmaceutical.
All the countries are basically illegal. I mean, I think that's so crazy for something that's natural and that's healing and that's helping in so many ways, from anything from hemp that can take away all the just ruin and damage that we're doing. We're chopping down trees, killing animals, trying to take their, it's just ridiculous, with all the oil.
But the 1% we're talking about, I mean, the people that really are the decision makers, they don't want healthy people. They want their families, their elite families, to be healthy, and they want the rest of the country to work as slaves and to pay them for their health, pay them to try to ail their sicknesses, and the whole system is set up to drain these people, which are us, to drain us out of every penny. We work our entire lives to make these few people rich by by the product we buy, by the energy that we use, by every single thing that we do in our lives, because it's the world that we live in. And so it's a really long uphill battle for the Occupy movement to gain everybody's interest in such a manner that we can actually have leverage against an entire world that's set up against the betterment of the world, of health, of the majority. It's set up against. It's a really, really hard. It's like swimming up a waterfall, and got to realize that. But it is starting, and that's where it's at. I have a question in my chat room that they say, "What if we haven't seen anything about this?" Reed, if someone says that, I'm assuming they mean like Nikki Starr. They live in a small town and they're not watching the news. I don't know how somebody could not hear anything about this. But I guess what would you would just direct them back to those websites or tell them?
Well, there's still a small percentage of people that aren't connected to the internet or that live in some of the outlying areas where they can't get broadband and all they're tuned into is the local stations. There are a very small percentage of people that are not really in the know, and those are usually the people again that that either deny or just flat out can't understand. Oh, it's not affecting me, so it's not a big deal. But these people, if they can't get to a computer or something like that, they really just need to listen to the radio, listen to AM radio, listen to shows like Coast to Coast AM, listen to shows like Alex Jones, things of that nature, where they can get really informed with alternative media that seeks the truth. Because what we're seeing in the media now is just who married who's having a baby, who's divorced, and that's it. And that's just not appropriate for news media. But just to touch on your point real quick earlier about the marijuana, I mean, what a great position for the government to be in. I mean, they have the DEA set up to persecute these people that smoke weed all their lives. They never die because they're smoking a herb that's helping them. And then you look at something like cocaine or meth or things of that nature. Those people that prosecute meth addicts and cocaine users and heavy alcoholics, those people die. Okay, so there's no self-sustaining income stream from those people because they die from their use, right? Even alcoholism and drug addiction. Whereas with marijuana, you can be pinging that person with years and years of fines and legal problems to support this billion-dollar industry or this quote-unquote war on drugs. So it just as a government, they try to use this, hey, if we stop marijuana prohibition, we'll lose millions of jobs and revenue and all this stuff. It's simply not true. It's not true. Those organizations are not that big, and they're just putting a lot of money in their pockets for running this outrageous campaign.
Right. You really have to change the way that you think if you're not if you're totally surprised by everything that you're hearing on this show here. You have to look at everything from a different perspective, and that's what we're talking about when we're saying be aware, open your eyes. Kush earlier on was talking about all the jobs that were lost. Like Bridget lost her job. Everybody that was working at that Medical Kush Beach Club lost their jobs, and of course all the patients lost a place where they could legally access their medicine. Now they got to go out on the streets, which is what they're doing. They're bringing it out to the streets instead of keeping it in the legal, regulated system. At the same time, you have to realize why everyone lost their jobs. Think of all the bullshit jobs that were associated, all the DEA agents or the police, the investigators, the board, those people that did all the investigative work and paperwork and shit. We're learning about all the court systems and how they bring you back to a future date just so you can come back to court and pay everybody just to schedule your next court date. They all make money too. It's a big money-making thing. While certain people lose money, other people make money, and that's the way the system's set up because it's all fucked up like that. So anyway, guys, we ran out of showtime. We only got 15 seconds, so thanks so much, Reed Lucas, and thanks Sean Kushinator and Nikki Starr. You got a website to plug? You got like 5 seconds. Oh, wait a second. It says 1 minute left. She told me I had 20 seconds, and it says stream left. See, was that Nikki Starr? I don't know. All right, cool. So anyway, I guess we got 50 seconds. So, Kush, what you got to plug?
Hashbar TV. And you could see all this because we documented everything from when we got raided, from all the, we had guns pointed in our face, these people looking like they wanted to kill us for, this harmful, drug that's medicinal and it's an herb and it's helping people and it's healing people. And it's just ridiculous. And
see how good it is when you see the trailer. This is going to be an awesome documentary. Reed, what do you want to plug, bro?
Yeah, definitely check out Medical Kush Beach Club on Facebook or medicalkushbeachclub.com to stay tuned to the documentary. But always check out Hashbar.tv. And if you haven't picked up the new Kushinator album, go pick it up at iTunes.
Sweet. All right, thanks, everybody. It's been a good show. We'll do it again real soon.
Soon.